So I put out a video like 2 months ago about doing nothing is doing something in trading. But I wanted to put out another one because I feel like it's just such a big component to being successful as a trader. Doing nothing is doing something. What's that quote? 80% waiting, 20% action. I actually did the math on this, and I took an average of 2 trades per week, and I did like an hour and a half or 2 hours per trade. And it worked out to about like 20% action, which is just funny because it actually lined up to what people say. People tend to use this as their dieting rule as well, like 80% staying on and then 20% they go off and have their cheat meals. For some reason 80-20 seems to be the rule that is known. Not 90-10, 70-30, 80-20. But for whatever reason, whatever, doesn't matter. But doing nothing, people filter the thought of I didn't trade today incorrectly. They have a broken mindset when it comes to what that means. They interpret it as unproductive, not a good trader. Did I miss something? I want to trade. Just missed an opportunity. Patience is being tested. I don't have enough time, like time is being taken away, that type of thing. The market didn't give me what I wanted, and I'm slightly frustrated by that. Frustration leads to anger. So if you get frustrated over and over again, eventually you get angry. People think the market is watching them. It's like you miss a trade. Like for example, I missed a trade on Friday for whatever technical error that I used to not take a trade. And then today, it didn't come down to my level for a long position. And I thought it might, we'll see. I stayed open-minded about it. And it didn't do that. It actually ran like 50 points, up to the upside. But I was not in it because it didn't come down to my level. So it tests you in that way, as if it knows what you're thinking. But let's get back to the reason I'm making this is because most people interpret doing nothing incorrectly. And I also do that, but I'm learning to view it as, like, just think about this. If most of the time you're doing nothing, it seems pretty bad to interpret doing nothing as a bad thing or something you don't want to do, because most of the time you're doing that. So you probably, this is what I'm doing. I've learned to interpret it differently by saying doing nothing is, it's doing a couple things. It's protecting mental capital. It's protecting actual, like, physical capital, like the money in the trading account. Those are the two things. Those two things are massive, though. So, like, let's say doing nothing, right? What does that do if you're thinking of it correctly? I gave you the reasons of what someone would think if they're thinking incorrectly. If you're thinking correctly, then you're going to be thinking, I have more confidence because I'm able to trust myself and be patient and only take my edge. And if my edge is not shown, then I don't take a trade. So your confidence goes up because your account size is the same. You're following the process over trying to make money. If you follow the process and don't think about the P&L or the account size that you want in a couple of months or could have, you're setting an expectation in your head that you might not even realize. So like for me, if I want a certain account size, I automatically am thinking that that's not the correct way of thinking. I need to change the way I'm thinking. Instead, I need to think, I want to follow my edge and only my edge for the next couple of months. And whatever my account size is, ideally it would be higher than what it is now, but it is what it is. I think when you start thinking about the profit and the losses, you tend to just start this spiral, you know? So if you just follow the process, which is what I'm working on, I mean, every week, it's a maintenance thing, keeping you locked in on thinking correctly. Like, think about the process, not the profits. Today, all I did was show up. It didn't give me an opportunity. In my head, I'm thinking all good. Protected capital, mental capital. It's a pretty big thing. I did nothing today, but that did something. Because if I took a trade today, that would have done something negative. So it's neutral now. I still did something. I think that's something that traders really need to understand, is that doing nothing is doing something. 80% action, 20% waiting. It all comes down to traders having FOMO. It really, there's other emotions as well, but FOMO seems to be such a key one because it's tied together with patience, especially like nowadays with people having such short attention spans. Watching shorts on Instagram and YouTube, and TikTok, whatever. It's hard for them to not take a trade in a day. They want to feel something. They want to feel like they're being productive. And the thing is, in every other business, doing nothing doesn't really do much at all. Like, you kind of have to do something to get the business going. But in trading, you have to reconfigure the way you think about doing nothing. You can remove that thought once you leave the screen. But when you sit down, you really need to understand that, okay, I'm here, I'm available for the market to potentially show me something. But I'm also completely okay sitting here doing nothing for multiple days sometimes. Depends on your edge, right? Like, for my edge, I'm very selective and I'm waiting for those bigger moves. I don't trade the in-between stuff. That's for me. So for me, 80% waiting is it's pretty true. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it, man. Learn to do nothing. Just wait for the opportunity. Don't be in such a rush to want to make money. The problem is that when you want to make money and that thought is really powerful in your head, you actually make less money. And the less you care, like in a good way, not like you care so little. You can't care so little that you're reckless and you're like, I'll just take whatever. But you can care like not that much to the point where you're okay with not trading for a couple days if it doesn't show you something. But you care, like, you're still consciously aware that you're going to take a trade at some point. So it's the balance of being consciously aware that, okay, I'm just going to wait. At some point there will be a trade. Like, that's a fact. At some point there will be. And I just wait. And the other days I have to put in of doing nothing to potentially capitalize on that trade, that opportunity that the market's giving to you. And at that moment, that's when you say, okay, I waited a couple days. This is my opportunity to enter a trade in here. So just something to think about. Constant progress of trying to dial in the correct mindset. There's a book. Let me get it. This guy. Right now I'm reading the book, The Mental The Mental Game of Trading, I think it's called. This one is a classic one. Trading in the Zone. If you read this, it'll give you a very detailed view of why you're thinking a certain way, even like certain past experiences, like the want to be right. Like the book I'm reading now about, it's The Mental Game of Trading. It talks about the want to be right, or your identity is being right. So like for me, if my identity is being better than everybody else in my head, because I'm super competitive, I'm trying to be the best, right? Whatever I do. If I lose a trade, maybe the brain goes into immediately goes into what did I do wrong? Did I do something wrong? I mean, because when you do something wrong, when you lose something, you kind of think right away, what did I do wrong? Did I do something wrong? But in trading, you can't think like that. You have to think, this is another data point in the next 20 trades. This is another just stamp, number 11, boom. At the end of those 20 trades, if you followed the process, you should have winners and losers. And you add up the profit over time. So, got to think of it long term, not short term. This trade doesn't matter, but the next 20, add them up over time. Follow your edge. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about doing nothing is doing something. Let that really sink in and really believe it. Don't just tell yourself that, you have to actually believe that.